Glad for the booze and the friends. We'll work for dollars, for cents, for scratch bones, pounds, pence, pennants, cents, shekels, cent, and shelter bread. 4 times $3 an hour, 4 hours a day, 4 days a week for the rest of my life. We'll sell knives. We'll pyramid scheme. We'll dress nice. We'll call during dinner. We'll door to door. We'll carry a knife. We'll work for peanuts, for pine nuts, for pineapple and cashew. We'll work for you for less than you pay others to do. We'll workforce. We'll force out. We'll overseas. We'll non-profit. We'll not profit. Won't trade, but we'll eat for free. We'll burrows. We'll suck for skrill. We'll test pills. We'll fuck for money. We'll call goodwill. We'll drink on job. We'll have drunk God. We'll live for tips. We'll paycheck. Won't background check. We'll Shakespeare. We'll Faulkner. Won't dress appropriate. Won't pass on purpose. We'll laundry and transit. We'll work for store credit, for college credit, for credit card necklaces. Will of a drunk God. Will you have anything else with that, sir? We'll work for a laugh, a smile, a blowjob, an hour, an asshole, an alibi. We'll work for change. Will Blake, will poem, will spoke, will Yates, will smoke, will Cole, will Banks, will broke. Will fold the will of a drunk God into my bones, though none of it will work for me.
Oh my God.
I've never been the other woman until now. Often, I bolt my shuttered chest before the tornado warning is even given. Apologize when people knock me over on the street or scuff my new sneakers. I'm sorry for breathing and for my complex being so simple. I come from a school of dilated pupils who learn to talk their way through each other's razor-sharp windmills before we learn to breathe. This is a lesson in standing up to a hurricane. In the aftermath of another drunk orgasm, where the man's mouth was more comfortable whispering love to my friend than taking me into him, I stumbled through an angry storm toward my bus home, avoiding the puddled regret that sat judging from the pavement. And out of the darkness, a dog, all teeth and waterlogged, flew toward me and knocked me to the ground, mud spilling up my thigh like an unwelcome hand here. Karma is actually a bitch. His owner called her back to him. It's a lesson in ownership. The next day, it was still raining as my friend led me through a maze of city without speaking, eyes betraying nothing besides a furrowed storm. I considered this to be my penance, an uneasy silence, an acceptable punishment. Figured at the end of this twisted labyrinth would be forgiveness. I did not understand this. It's a lesson in recognizing our limits. I have known jealousy wrapped in my gut so tightly people mistook me for a loaded gun. Buried fists balled into slugs in my pocket. Played air guitar at a forgotten intersection, coaxing the devil to come make a deal with me. Show him how reasonable I can be. But when I dug up my demons, their eyes, a squinting night's flood, I saw them for the colonists on their breath, saw love. It's something given, but never possessed. So dear friend, dear boyfriend, dear boy who feels I have wronged him, you are an exponent in a problem set in another state's curriculum. You are an afterthought in a backwash bottle of scotch. You are dating a slut and orgasm. It's only as substantial as you let it be. This exaggeration of skin, this oxytocin and prolactin, this tragic narrative, fig leaves and lips, it's a lesson in absolution. Here together. I saw an octopus pregnant with television wires clinging to the side of a brick building. A man blows his shofar into the hollow of a dumpster, and a car filled with nothing but light drives through darkness, most times this world. It does not make sense. At the corner of Alabama and Cesar Chavez, there is a contradiction. A condominium made of skin crawling out of the pavement, growing towards the shadow of police light, eating oxygen and the freshest canned vegetables from the corner store. The structure's key cornerstone is a human tooth, covered in gold, mined by the hands of 49ers still wet with the blood of newly Spanish mouths. There is a mural in an alleyway that portrays this monster of capitalism lurking in foundations, claiming buildings for limbs, pigs' revolvers for tongues that breathe dollar sign and speak eviction. In this wet dream of gentrification, I wake covered in sweat-shamed bed sheets, wash them clean daily before work. At the intersection of hipster and human, there is a dance hall made from the body of a converted Nazi bunker at night. German children dance their grandparents' dances to music made by the descendants of Auschwitz. Now, the Bible tells us it took white Jesus 7 days to colonize San Francisco. At the intersection of hipster and human, there is a dance hall made from the body of an old Spanish church, of a methadone clinic, of a Santeria ritual site. At night, white children fill its belly with black music and dance whiskey lullabies to bedlam. Children, dressed in their grandparents' prejudice, press dollar bills into the barrels of riot cop guns. It is here. I saw a church bell shaped like a fist. A Molotov press conference occupying the silence of a repossessed stairwell and a car filled with nothing but police light profiled in darkness. Most times, this world, it does not make sense. At the corner of Alabama and Cesar Chavez, there is a contradiction. I live here, on a border's edge, paying a border's rent for 4 walls and a floor as dirty as my mind is at night. My neighborhood is a beehive filled with high fructose corn syrup. It is a syringe injected into the limb of a city park tree. A pair of duct tape handcuffs placed on the mouth of a river, paying dowry to this hungry city that never lets it sleep. This is a poem. I wrote that poem from the perspective of an owl. It's called Owl, for Carl Solomon. I saw the beast minds of my generation, weathered, beaked, and starving, shot down by hysterical buckshot. Angel-feathered hipsters, whose woodland homes now resemble the machinery of city, whose necks could turn nearly 360 degrees into a looking glass of possibility, whose flight resembles a belt of cocaine weaved into the cocks of terrified sailors, an untethered kite weaving through the starry dynamo, whose claws could knot around each rat nestled into Vermanic chanting, whose ghost-like appearance resembles a waking nightmare, plumage, and endless balls, who fuck like winged devils plummeting beneath the dripping of moon, waving manuscripts and cloaca. You don't know what cloaca is? It's the all-purpose bird orifice. It's where they poop and pee and have sex. Cloaca, whose eyes resemble are a black diamond in the frame of a Brooklyn roof, who walked with poo through 100-acre wood, recounting countless tales of family and miserable spelling, who battled the daredevil, crime lord madman of financial wisdom, who always desired but never discovered how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, who rocked the schoolhouse every afternoon scholar educating a myriad of birds, who delivered letters to a young magician preparing for the final battle. Oh Moloch, I am with you in Rockland. Jesus smokes crack, but keeps it under wraps from the friends and family I assume that he has. Tells me bad jokes in the back of the building I barista at to pay my bills. The setup. How can you tell if someone is a queer Jew? My answer, I don't know. I suppose look in my mirror. The punchline, he likes money more than girls. Funny, I guess. This while I had my cigarette, breathing in a little death to get rid of the image of the woman who apparently had a soy milk fetish not met. Customer service is just another word for sacrificing everything for a paycheck, and Jesus knows something about sacrifice. Tells me about the night he gave his only coat to a man who resembles a broken car. Rusted blue painted lips, how Jesus frees that long walk home from market to sunset to salvation. Dude spins rambling stories with few adjectives, often just what things is, and how many different existences you can travel between that day most days. I nod and sit while thinking of something else entirely. For instance, how boring my job is. Or if this guy makes the same hour commute to this rich neighborhood that I do. On the back table, he stacks his cheap cigarettes into a convoluted symmetry. The once I bummed nicotine, he gave a 20-minute explanation of that cigarette story in relation to everything else ever. I made sure not to forget my smokes again. The setup. What's the difference between a Jew and a cigarette? My answer, I don't know. I suppose we're more expensive. The punchline, cigarettes don't scream when they burn. Head inside to turn water into something expensive. One day there was a sign taped to the cash register which read, "Do not let Jesus on the premises." Story is someone with a spine saw him transforming rocks into a wine of smoke and tell people with money things they did not want to hear with eyes bloody as a salmon in a farm tank of salmon. How fitting. The sign was placed above the flow of currency as if it could somehow multiply the contents inside. I am capable of only the simplest magic. I can transubstantiate tips into bus fare and occasional whiskey. I can sleep like the dead with no hope of resurrection, and I can leave people alone pretty much always. I saw Jesus on the bus today, arms outstretched to opposing poles, eyes searching out a miracle. I hid behind my notebook. What did some crackhead Jesus say when he was left alone to get stoned and die? Setup. Answer. Punchline. Notebook. When I die, I wonder which of my friends will choose to participate in the television movie. Fuck yes, there is going to be a television movie. Now, they would probably prefer a documentary so they can play themselves, my friends. They're really good at playing themselves, my friends. Want more screen time, my friends. They will make money off of me after I die. This is how I know they are my friends. When I die. Swap bucket, bruised ankle dance, sex post, lips sucking off a cigarette, guts breaking, guts bending, guts howling, crowds fingernails. Growing at the precise speed of sound when I die. Deal with whatever I leave behind as you will. Give my shirts with collars away. Leave the rest for some landfill. Stretch my poems across 100 billboards between New York City and hell, convincing people to keep driving forward. When I die, bury me in your pocket. Write an epithet for my epitaph on your underpants. Choose to remember me or not, either way, I will still brush against your thigh as you walk. I always did call you a coffin. When I die, I hope they lie about me and call me all of the things they called me when I was alive. When I die, I hope they tell the truth about me, how I turned a lot into a little, how I didn't drink as much as I write, how I didn't write enough, how I drank too much, how I screamed poems at drywall and called that writing, pounding my chest into a bruised alphabet. When a friend I knew but did not know walked off that bridge straight into her last stanza, we didn't do shit. I didn't do shit, just had another drink, just talked about writing. The most important things, do not know words. I wonder what her exhale sounded like as she fell. Pole dancing lightning bug, tornado coffee cup, the slice of scissor against shrieking hair. Wonder what water smells like when it takes on the properties of concrete for a moment. A body blooming crimson on its surface, then wilting into the deep. The most important things, they do not know words. So when I fall, like some Arizona politician, like some Egyptian government, like some girl off a bridge, I know there won't be enough ink left in all of our pens to help me breathe on my own again. I know that books and mausoleums are only built by those who value remembering, and I know that this is just another bad poem stolen from the American Book of the Dead. Thank you for your time.